Welcome back to the channel. If you love rare coins and valuable pocket change, you're in the right place. Today, we're taking a look at an interesting Washington quarter and discovering how much it could be worth in today's market. Make sure to watch until the end because the value might surprise you. First up, have you ever wondered whether a simple 1973 Washington quarter sitting in your pocket change could be worth more than just 25 cents? Many people spend these coins every day without giving them a second look, but collectors know that some quarters can carry surprising value. Today, we're taking a closer look at the 1973 Washington quarter with no mint mark and exploring what it may be worth in circulated condition in today's coin market and auction world. The 1973 Washington quarter without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. During that time, Philadelphia quarters were produced without mint marks, making them easy to identify. Hundreds of millions of these coins were released into circulation, and they quickly became a common part of everyday transactions across the United States. Because so many were produced, most examples found today are still considered common, especially in circulated grades. When a coin is described as circulated, it means the coin was used in commerce and shows signs of wear from years of handling. On a circulated 1973 quarter, you may notice wear on George Washington's hair, the cheek area, and the eagle design on the reverse. The more wear a coin has, the lower its collectible value tends to be. However, even circulated coins can be desirable when they are well preserved and attractive for their age. In today's market, a heavily circulated 1973 Washington quarter with no mint mark is generally worth face value or slightly above it. Many examples sell for between 25 cents and $1. Coins with lighter wear and stronger details can bring between $1 and $5, depending on their overall appearance. Collectors assembling Washington quarter sets often seek nice circulated examples, which helps create steady demand. Auction values can vary significantly. Most circulated 1973 quarters do not bring large amounts at auction because they are readily available. However, exceptionally attractive circulated examples with strong eye appeal can sometimes sell for higher premiums. A coin with minimal wear, clean surfaces, and attractive toning may attract more collector interest than a typical example. One of the most exciting possibilities is finding a mint error. Error coins are mistakes made during the production process and can be worth much more than ordinary coins. Collectors constantly search for off-center strikes, doubled dies, clipped planchets, die cracks, and other unusual features. If a genuine mint error is discovered on a 1973 Washington quarter, the value can increase dramatically, sometimes reaching hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the rarity of the error. Many people overlook their pocket change, but experienced collectors know that valuable discoveries can happen when you take the time to inspect every coin carefully. A simple quarter that appears ordinary at first glance may reveal something unusual under closer examination. This excitement is one reason why coin collecting remains such a popular hobby around the world. Although the 1973 Washington quarter with no mint mark is not considered one of the rarest quarters ever produced, it remains an important piece of American coinage history. Most circulated examples are worth between 25 cents and a few dollars, while coins with exceptional preservation or rare mint errors can command much higher prices in today's auction market. So before you spend your next quarter, take a closer look. You never know what hidden treasure might be sitting in your pocket, coin jar, or old collection. That ordinary-looking 1973 Washington quarter could have a story to tell, and in the fascinating world of coin collecting, every coin deserves a second look. Next up, the 1974 Washington quarter with no mint mark is a coin that millions of Americans have handled over the years without realizing it could hold collectible value. At first glance, it may seem like nothing more than an ordinary 25-cent coin, but for coin collectors and treasure hunters, even common-looking quarters can be worth taking a closer look at. While most 1974 quarters are not considered rare, certain examples in circulated condition have attracted attention in today's coin market, especially those with strong eye appeal, unusual characteristics, or mint errors. The Washington quarter has been a cornerstone of American coinage since 1932. Created to honor George Washington, the first president of the United States, the design quickly became one of the most recognized coins in circulation. By 1974, the quarter was being used in everyday transactions across the country. Whether people were buying groceries, paying for transportation, or using vending machines, the Washington quarter was a familiar sight in nearly every pocket and cash register. A 1974 Washington quarter with no mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. During that period, Philadelphia-produced quarters typically carried no mint mark, making them easy to identify. The Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of quarters that year, which explains why these coins remain relatively common today. However, not every coin survives decades of circulation in collectible condition, and that is where value begins to enter the picture. When collectors refer to a circulated coin, they mean a coin that has been used in commerce and shows signs of wear from handling. Over time, details on the coin gradually become less sharp. On a circulated 1974 quarter, whereas often visible on Washington's hair, cheek, and jawline, the eagle on the reverse may also show softer feathers and reduced detail. The amount of remaining detail is one of the most important factors in determining value. In today's coin market, a heavily circulated 1974 Washington quarter with no mint mark is usually worth face value or slightly above. Most examples sell for between 25 cents and $1. Better circulated examples that retain stronger details and attractive surfaces can bring between $1 and $5. While these amounts may not seem significant, they are still higher than the coin's face value and demonstrate collector interest. The auction market can sometimes produce surprising results. Collectors are often willing to pay premiums for coins that stand out from the average examples found in circulation. A circulated 1974 quarter with exceptional eye appeal, natural tunning, and limited wear may attract competitive bidding. Some attractive circulated pieces have sold for several dollars simply because they are nicer than the majority of surviving examples. One of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting is the possibility of discovering a mint error. Mint errors occur when something unusual happens during the manufacturing process. These mistakes can include off-center strikes, doubled dies, clipped planchets, die cracks, broad strikes, and other unusual features. Error coins are often far more valuable than standard examples because they are much scarcer and highly sought after by collectors. A 1974 Washington quarter with a significant mint error can be worth far more than a normal circulated coin. Depending on the type and severity of the error, values can range from tens of dollars to hundreds or even thousands of dollars. This is one reason collectors carefully inspect every quarter they encounter. A small detail that most people would overlook could make a tremendous difference in value. Another factor that affects value is eye appeal. Collectors often prefer coins that have attractive natural coloration and surfaces. A coin with smooth wear, pleasing tunning, and minimal damage is generally more desirable than one with scratches, corrosion, or cleaning marks. Even among circulated coins, appearance matters greatly when determining market value. Many people assume that only silver coins are valuable, but that is not always true. The 1974 Washington quarter is a copper-nickel-clad coin and contains no silver. Nevertheless, collectors continue to seek these coins because they are part of an important series in American numismatics. Building complete Washington quarter collections remains a popular hobby, creating ongoing demand for coins from every date and mint. Searching for valuable coins has become increasingly popular in recent years. Coin roll hunters search through bank rolls looking for hidden treasures. Others examine old family collections, estate sales, flea markets, and coin jars that have been sitting untouched for decades. While most 1974 quarters will be common examples, the possibility of finding an exceptional coin keeps collectors searching. Condition remains one of the biggest drivers of value. Two quarters struck in the same year can have dramatically different prices depending on how well they have survived over time. A coin that spent decades being heavily used may be worth only face value, while a better preserved example could command a noticeable premium. This difference highlights the importance of preservation in the coin collecting hobby. Today's auction market reflects this reality. Ordinary circulated 1974 Washington quarters with no mint mark generally sell for between 25 cents and a few dollars. Better quality circulated examples often bring stronger prices, while verified mint errors can achieve much higher values. Collectors continue to pay premiums for coins that are unusual, attractive, or difficult to find. If you happen to discover a 1974 Washington quarter in your pocket change, don't rush to spend it immediately. Take a moment to examine the coin closely. Look for unusual features, signs of mint errors, and overall condition. Even if the coin turns out to be a common example, you'll gain valuable experience learning how collectors evaluate coins. The story of the 1974 Washington quarter reminds us that every coin has a history. What appears to be an ordinary piece of change may have traveled through countless hands over decades of American life. For collectors, that history is part of the appeal. And while most circulated 1974 quarters are worth only a modest premium over face value, a rare error or exceptionally preserved example could still surprise its owner with a much higher auction value. The next time you receive change from a purchase or sort through an old jar of coins, keep an eye out for a 1974 Washington quarter with no mint mark. It may look ordinary, but in the fascinating world of coin collecting, even the most common coins can hold unexpected value. The search for hidden treasures continues every day, and your next great coin discovery could be waiting right in your pocket. Next up, the 1979 Washington quarter with a D mint mark is a coin that many people have seen countless times without realizing that some examples can carry collectible value. While millions of these quarters were produced and circulated throughout the United States, collectors continue to search for well-preserved examples and unusual varieties that can command premiums in today's market. If you've ever wondered whether a 1979 D Washington quarter in very fine condition could be worth more than its face value, you're not alone. This coin remains a popular piece among collectors who enjoy building complete Washington quarter collections. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Over the decades, it became one of the most familiar coins in American circulation. By 1979, the quarter was an essential part of everyday commerce, changing hands millions of times each day across the country. The design featuring George Washington on the obverse and the heraldic eagle on the reverse had become an iconic symbol of American coinage. The D mint mark found on a 1979 quarter indicates that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The Denver facility produced hundreds of millions of quarters that year to meet the nation's demand for circulating coinage. Because of the large number minted, most surviving examples remain relatively common today. However, condition plays a major role in determining value, and not every coin survives decades of circulation with attractive details intact. A quarter graded as very fine has seen considerable circulation, but still retains many important design elements. On a very fine 1979 D Washington quarter, the hair details above Washington's ear remain visible, and many of the major features on the eagle can still be identified. While wear is present, the coin continues to display enough detail to be appealing to collectors who appreciate circulated coins. In today's market, a typical 1979 D Washington quarter in very fine condition is generally worth between 25 cents and $2. Most examples trade for only a small premium above face value because they are readily available. However, Attractive specimens with strong details, original surfaces, and pleasing eye appeal may sell for slightly higher amounts. Collectors assembling circulated sets often seek examples that display even wear and attractive overall appearance. Auction results can vary depending on demand and presentation. While most very fine examples do not command large prices, some particularly appealing coins can attract stronger bids. A coin with natural tunning, minimal marks, and above-average eye appeal may sell for several dollars. Even among common-date quarters, collectors often pay premiums for examples that stand out from the crowd. One of the most exciting aspects of collecting modern Washington quarters is the possibility of finding a mint error. Mint errors occur during the production process and can transform an ordinary coin into something much more valuable. Examples include doubled dies, off-center strikes, clip planchets, die cracks, and other unusual production anomalies. A genuine error coin can be worth significantly more than a standard example. Collectors carefully examine 1979 D quarters looking for these unusual characteristics. Even a small error can increase value substantially, while major errors have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. This possibility keeps collectors searching through pocket change, coin rolls, and old collections every day. Another factor influencing value is originality. Coins that have not been cleaned or altered are generally more desirable than those that have been harshly treated. Collectors prefer original surfaces because they preserve the coin's natural appearance and historical character. A naturally worn quarter with honest circulation is often worth more than a cleaned example with a bright but artificial appearance. The 1979 D Washington quarter is composed of a copper-nickel-clad alloy and contains no silver. Despite this, collectors remain interested in these coins because they are part of a long-running and historically significant series. Building complete Washington quarter collections remains one of the most popular areas of coin collecting, ensuring continued interest in coins from every date and mint. Many valuable discoveries have been made by people who simply took the time to examine their change. Coin roll hunters frequently search through hundreds or even thousands of quarters, hopping to uncover an unusual variety or high-grade example. While most 1979 D quarters are common, the excitement of the search is what keeps collectors engaged. In today's auction market, a standard 1979 D Washington quarter in very fine condition is typically valued between 25 cents and a few dollars. The exact amount depends on the coin's eye appeal, preservation, and overall desirability. Error coins and unusual varieties can be worth much more, sometimes bringing impressive prices when offered to the right buyers. The story of the 1979 D Washington quarter demonstrates that value in coin collecting is not always about rarity alone. Condition, originality, collector demand, and unique characteristics all contribute to a coin's market value. Even a coin that appears ordinary can become desirable when it possesses qualities that collectors appreciate. Before spending a 1979 D quarter, take a few moments to inspect it carefully. Check the mint mark, examine the details, and look for anything unusual. While most examples will be worth only a small premium above face value, you never know when you might discover a hidden treasure. Coin collecting continues to be a rewarding hobby because every coin has the potential to tell a story, and sometimes that story can be worth far more than 25 cents. Next up, the 1965 Washington quarter with no mint mark is one of the most interesting coins in modern American coin collecting. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary quarter that has spent decades in circulation, but this particular year represents a major turning point in United States coinage history. Because of that historical significance, collectors continue to search for 1965 quarters, especially examples that remain in attractive condition or display unusual minting characteristics. The year 1965 was a landmark year for American coins. Rising silver prices had created a nationwide coin shortage, and the United States Mint made a historic decision to change the composition of the quarter. Prior to 1965, Washington quarters were struck using 90% silver. Beginning in 1965, the quarter transitioned to a copper-nickel-clad composition. This change marked the end of regular silver quarter production for circulation and introduced a new era in American coinage. One unique feature of the 1965 Washington quarter is the absence of a mint mark. During the coin shortage of the mid-1960s, the United States Mint temporarily removed mint marks from circulating coins in an effort to discourage collectors from hoarding them. As a result, all regular 1965 Washington quarters were struck without a mint mark, regardless of the facility that produced them. Millions of these quarters entered circulation and were used extensively throughout the country. They passed through stores, banks, vending machines, and countless daily transactions. Because so many were produced, most surviving examples are relatively common. However, the historical importance of the first-clad quarter continues to attract attention from collectors. When discussing a 1965 Washington quarter in fine condition, collectors are referring to a coin that has seen circulation but still retains moderate detail. On a fine-grade coin, Washington's hair will show noticeable wear, but many details remain visible. The lettering and date should be clear and easy to read. On the reverse, the eagle will display wear but still maintain recognizable features throughout the design. In today's coin market, a typical 1965 Washington quarter in fine condition is generally worth between 25 cents and $3. Many examples sell for a small premium above face value because of their historical significance and collector demand. Coins with better eye appeal, attractive surfaces, and stronger remaining detail may command slightly higher prices. Auction values often depend on the overall appearance of the coin. While most fine-condition examples are not considered rare, collectors are willing to pay more for coins that have survived decades of circulation with attractive surfaces and minimal distractions. A particularly appealing fine-grade example can sometimes bring between $3 and $10 at auction, depending on demand and presentation. One reason collectors remain fascinated by the 1965 quarter is the possibility of discovering rare errors or unusual varieties. Mint errors can dramatically increase the value of a coin. Collectors actively search for doubled dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, and other production anomalies. These unusual pieces are often worth far more than ordinary examples. Among the most famous stories surrounding the 1965 Washington quarter are the rare silver transitional errors that occasionally surface. In extremely rare cases, a 1965 quarter was accidentally struck on a leftover silver planchet intended for earlier quarters. These rare error coins are highly prized by collectors and have sold for thousands of dollars when authenticated. Although finding one is extremely unlikely, the possibility continues to generate excitement among coin enthusiasts. Another important factor affecting value is originality. Collectors generally prefer coins that have not been cleaned or altered. Natural surfaces, honest wear, and original coloration are often more desirable than an artificially bright appearance. A naturally aged quarter with attractive tunning can be more appealing to collectors than a cleaned coin with similar detail. The 1965 Washington quarter also serves as an important educational piece for new collectors. It represents the beginning of the clad coinage era and highlights how economic conditions can influence the design and composition of a nation's money. Every time a collector examines a 1965 quarter, they are looking at a piece of history that reflects a significant moment in the evolution of American currency. Today, collectors continue searching through old collections, coin jars, estate sales, and bank rolls hopping to find exceptional examples. While most 1965 quarters in fine condition are worth only a modest premium, the possibility of discovering an unusual variety or valuable error keeps the hunt exciting. In today's auction market, The average 1965 Washington quarter with no mint mark in fine condition generally sells for between 25 cents and a few dollars. Better preserved examples may achieve stronger prices, while rare error coins can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on their rarity and condition. The story of the 1965 Washington quarter reminds us that even common coins can hold historical importance. What appears to be an ordinary quarter is actually a symbol of one of the biggest changes in modern American coinage. For collectors, that history adds meaning and value far beyond the coin's face value. The next time you come across a 1965 Washington quarter, take a closer look before spending it. Examine the details, check its condition, and appreciate the history it represents. While most examples will not make you rich, every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story can be worth much more than 25 cents. In the world of coin collecting, even an everyday quarter can become an exciting discovery waiting to happen. Next up, the 1988 Washington quarter with a D mint mark is a coin that many Americans have seen countless times in their pocket change, yet few people stop to consider whether it might be worth more than its face value. While most examples of this coin circulated heavily throughout the United States, collectors continue to search for well-preserved pieces, unusual varieties, and rare mint errors that can bring surprising prices in today's auction market. If you have a 1988 D Washington quarter tucked away in a coin jar or collection, you may be wondering whether it has any collectible value. The Washington quarter has been a cornerstone of American coinage since its introduction in 1932. Created to honor George Washington, the first president of the United States, the design became one of the most recognizable coins ever produced by the U.S. Mint. By 1988, the Washington quarter was already a familiar part of everyday commerce, used by millions of Americans for purchases, vending machines, transportation, and countless daily transactions. The D Mint mark on a 1988 quarter indicates that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. Located in Colorado, the Denver Mint has produced billions of coins over the years and was responsible for striking a large number of Washington quarters in 1988. Because so many were produced, most surviving examples are common, especially in circulated condition. However, condition, eye appeal, and rarity still play important roles in determining value. A circulated 1988 D Washington quarter is a coin that has been used in everyday commerce and shows signs of wear. Depending on the amount of circulation, details on Washington's hair, cheek, and jawline may appear softened. The eagle on the reverse may also show wear, with some feather details becoming less distinct. These signs of use are normal and help determine the coin's grade. In today's coin market, a typical circulated 1988 D Washington quarter is usually worth between 25 cents and $1. Most examples remain common and trade close to face value. However, coins with lighter wear, attractive surfaces, and better-than-average eye appeal can sell for a premium. Some collectors are willing to pay $1 to $3 for especially attractive circulated examples. Auction prices can vary depending on the quality of the coin and the level of collector interest. While ordinary circulated examples generally sell for modest amounts, coins with strong details and appealing appearance sometimes achieve higher prices. Natural tunning, minimal damage, and original surfaces can all contribute to a coin's desirability among collectors. One of the most exciting aspects of collecting Washington quarters is searching for mint errors. Mint errors occur when something unusual happens during the production process. These mistakes can create coins that are significantly more valuable than ordinary examples. Collectors actively search for off-center strikes, doubled dies, clipped planchets, die cracks, broad strikes, and other unusual characteristics. A genuine mint error on a 1988 D Washington quarter can dramatically increase its value. Depending on the rarity and severity of the error, such coins may sell for tens, hundreds, or even thousands of dollars. This possibility is one reason why collectors carefully inspect every quarter they encounter. What appears to be a normal coin at first glance could actually be a valuable error piece. Another important factor in determining value is originality. Collectors generally prefer coins that have not been cleaned, polished, or altered. Natural wear and original surfaces are often more desirable than an artificially bright appearance. A circulated quarter that has aged naturally over decades can be more appealing to collectors than a cleaned coin with similar detail. Although the 1988 Washington quarter contains no silver and is composed of a copper-nickel-clad alloy, it still holds a place in many collections. The Washington Quarter series remains one of the most widely collected coin series in the United States. Collectors often build complete day-10 mint sets, creating demand for examples from every year of production. Many collectors enjoy searching through bank rolls and pocket change looking for overlooked treasures. While most 1988 quarters are common, the possibility of finding a high-quality circulated coin or a rare mint error keeps the hobby exciting. Every coin has the potential to tell a story, and sometimes that story includes an unexpected increase in value. The auction market reflects this collector interest. A normal circulated 1988 Washington quarter generally sells for only a small premium over face value. Most examples are worth between 25 cents and $1, while nicer circulated pieces may bring several dollars. Error coins and unusual varieties can command much higher prices when offered to collectors who recognize their rarity. Condition continues to be one of the most important factors affecting value. Two coins from the same year and mint can sell for very different amounts depending on how well they have survived over time. Coins with attractive surfaces, strong remaining details, and minimal distractions often outperform average examples in the marketplace. The 1988 Washington quarter may not be one of the rarest quarters ever produced, but it remains an important part of modern American coinage. It represents an era when billions of coins were produced to support a growing economy and a nation that relied heavily on cash transactions. Today, these coins serve as reminders of that period while continuing to attract collectors. If you come across a 1988 Washington quarter, take a moment to examine it carefully. Look at the date, check the mint mark, and inspect the coin for unusual features or signs of a mint error. Most examples will be worth only a modest premium, but occasionally a special coin emerges that captures the attention of collectors and achieves impressive auction results. The next time you receive change from a purchase or search through an old collection, remember that every coin deserves a second look. While the average 1988 Washington quarter in circulated condition may be worth only a small amount above face value, the thrill of the hunt is what makes coin collecting so rewarding. Hidden treasures can still be found, and your next discovery may be waiting in the most unexpected place.